Look out there. Out there is the perfect lap. No mistakes. Every gear change, every corner. Perfect. You see it?
I think so.
Most people can't. Most people don't even know it's out there, but it is. It's there.
The call to adventure is the first stage of the hero's journey. It marks the moment that the hero notices something extraordinary for the first time. This is also the beginning of what Joseph Campbell calls the departure phase of the journey. But for now, let's focus on the call itself. It's a want or a need that will require the hero to grow and change to fulfill, something that falls outside the plan. It can bubble up quietly within the hero or within the community of the ordinary world. Or it can come from without. It could appear in the form of an opportunity to do something great, or in the form of a catastrophe that strikes like a bolt from the blue. The call can also invite the hero to a positive or a negative adventure. So when I'm talking about the hero, I'm not necessarily talking about a good person. I'm just talking about the story's protagonist, who might be called to a dark adventure. The basic pattern of their hero's journey remains the same, just flipped upside down. The call to adventure is one of the most easily recognizable beats in the hero's journey because we've all experienced tipping points like this in our lives. These moments can be totally obvious, or they can be subtle and hard to explain.
Hello, I'm here.
Oh. Hi.
Whatever shape they take, all successfully delivered calls to adventure have at least 4 things in common. First, it can't be so overwhelming that the hero is defeated or destroyed by it. Second, it has to be conspicuous enough for the hero to recognize it. Third, it has to be clear.
Obey my dog!
The hero has to have some understanding that he's being called. Finally, it has to be relevant to the hero. It has to address a real problem that the hero has.
Save the whales!
Let's go through each one. We'll start with an example of an extreme but still successful call. Conan the Barbarian. Conan's village is raided by Thulsa Doom, who kills his father and beheads his mother. But he lets the young Conan live. Otherwise, there would be no story. Likewise, the call has a lower limit. The hero might not recognize the call when he hears it the first time.
Greetings and salutations.
Or the first several times.
Yeah, I don't really like your friends either.
Like Campbell says, a series of signs of increasing force become visible until the summons can no longer be denied.
Be a dick. He'll kill her.
Bruce Almighty provides us with a great example of a quiet call that gets louder over time.
What should I do? Give me a signal. I need your guidance, Lord. Please send me a sign. Oh, what's this joker doing now?
We probably don't fault Bruce for failing to recognize the caution signal or the truck full of signs. We can see them for what they are because we know that Bruce is a character in a movie. But most people would probably agree the call is a little too quiet for our hero to recognize. But then, this happens.
I need your help, Lord. Please, reach into my life. What the heck? Where are ya? I got ya!
If you hit a pothole and crash your car at the exact same moment you ask God to come into your life, I think most people would agree that the call is loud enough. But now Bruce is angry, and you could argue that maybe the call is a little unclear, so God gives Bruce one more chance.
The only one around here not doing his job is you! Answer me! Sorry, don't know you. Wouldn't call you if I did.
As the call gets louder and clearer, We stop sympathizing with Bruce and start shaking our head at him. Let's dive deeper into the case of the misunderstood call. This means that the call is loud enough, but the hero can't see it, or himself, clearly enough. In Galaxy Quest, washed-up actor Jason Nesmith accidentally agrees to save an alien race from an actual space tyrant, but he thinks he's just being paid to play his old TV character at some kind of live-action role-playing event.
You know, guys, I had a late night with a Cremorian Fangor beast, so, I'm gonna just shut my eyes for a bit. Go on. You know, I'm listening to everything you say, okay?
In the 5 million years following the Great Nebula burst...
Let's pivot to a partially recognized call, with Field of Dreams. Ray Kinsella is called by a mysterious voice to build a baseball diamond in his cornfield, risking his farm in the process. He knows that he doesn't fully understand what the call entails, but he does it anyway. It's a great way to begin a story that deals with the nature of faith. Let's close out this section with the hero who misunderstands his own ability to answer the call. In Kick-Ass, high schooler Dave Lazowski just decides to become a superhero.
You are f***ing awesome.
You could argue that he doesn't understand the nature of the extraordinary world he's trying to enter, but what I mean is, Dave is making a different mistake than Jason Nesmith. Dave doesn't think he's going to a costume party and end up battling crime by accident. He sets out to fight crime and learns that he's radically overestimated his ability to do so. Now, let's take a look at the fourth criteria. The call has to be relevant to the hero.
He could even keep the ones he cared about from dying.
To illustrate this point, I'm going to use an example that wouldn't be a problem for most of us, but for our hero, it is. In The Weatherman, David Spritzer's marriage is already strained to its breaking point when his wife asks him to run to the store to get some tartar sauce.
Tartar sauce.
Nothing could be more ordinary than that. But let's see how it goes for him.
I should put some espionage or stolen plutonium in my novel, Tartar Sauce. Spice it up. Neil Young. It's cold. Neil Young. Why am I thinking about Neil Young? Neil Diamond. Neil. There's not a lot of famous Neils. Is this Wednesday? I wish I had 2 days. I thought the whole family was going to learn Spanish together this year. That never really happened. I haven't had a Spanish omelet in a long time. There we go.
Anything else?
No?
For most people, picking up some tartar sauce at the store wouldn't be a make or break moment, but David turns it into a disaster that he suspects marks the point of no return in his rocky marriage. Campbell says, "As Freud has shown, blunders are not the merest chance. They are the result of suppressed desires and conflicts." Let's wrap up with a look at total failure. Cube presents us with a clear case of the call being too much, too soon. The story begins with a man in some kind of futuristic, maze-like prison. He never says anything, so we never learn who he is or what he might know about the situation he's in. Later, we learn that people are abducted and thrown into this place without any apparent rhyme or reason. So let's see how things go for prisoner number 1. Well, there it is. Our would-be hero is diced into cubes and literally falls to pieces. This opening vignette serves as a tone-setting prologue, and the story restarts with a new batch of characters. I think what happened here is that this character's story actually begins at a much later stage of the hero's journey. We're just getting into the first stage, so I won't rattle off the names of the 4 or 5 stages he's skipped. I'll just say that he's thrown into the extraordinary world several steps too soon to have any hope of survival.
No!
The punishment for skipping the call, or any stage, isn't always the end of that character's story. Sometimes it becomes the story. It depends on what stages are skipped, why they're skipped, and what other forces are present in the story to make up for their absence. Once the hero has heard the call, or thinks he's heard it, he has to decide what to do about it. And that's the subject of the next stage of the hero's journey.
All right, I get it.
The hero's decision can tell us a lot about if and how he's understood the call, so the 2 stages can be difficult to fully disentangle. What you'll often find, though, is that someone has an objection.
Do we even know if he's right? Looks pretty fucking right to me.
It does.
And that brings us to stage 2, refusal of the call.